Today I would like to talk to you about the need we have for God in our life. And for that I would like to use Matthew 7:7, in which it is said, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you." The truth is, God knocks many times at our door in our life, but we don't always open. And even when we open, we don't always listen to what He has to say. So I would like to tell you a bit about my life story and how I grew up without God, and how God was knocking at my door many times in my life, and how eventually He found me. So as I said, I grew up without knowing God, without maintaining or nurturing a relationship with Him. When I was 14 at school, one of our teachers had a very great idea. He took us on a mini pilgrimage to the mountain to spend a weekend. It was on a voluntary basis, like the kids who wanted to go, they could sign up for that. And we went to the mountain in Switzerland, and we spent the weekend at the monastery with the monks, and we were at the service there and we shared with them. And I was very touched by this experience. I felt that something is moving inside. There was something behind this that I could not grasp. I could not put a name on that, but I knew there was something very powerful. So it touched me very deeply for the duration of 2 days. But then when I went back to my normal life, I forgot about it. And it didn't have a further influence. And the other great thing that this teacher did, actually, he gave each of the participants, he gave that Bible here. That's a Bible in French. So as I said, I'm from Switzerland, so it's a French-speaking Bible here. He gave us that Bible, and I always kept it, even if I was not believing in God, I was not following that, I always kept that Bible in my bookshelf. Then I started to study at university. And when I was probably around 18 or 19, I remember seeing these Christian guys at the university who were just trying to talk to people. And I didn't know who were these guys. I just saw they were wearing a cross. And again, it reminded me of the time I had spent at that monastery with my teacher when I was 14. And I felt something is moving there. And somehow I want to be connected with these guys. But at the same time, I'm too shy to start talking about God, because anyway, I don't think it's really true and it has any real influence in my life. So I saw them, I felt there is something, but I didn't approach them. The other interesting thing is that I was studying law at university, and when I was preparing for my final exams, I needed to be every day in the library to study. And the only library which was open every day of the week was the theology library. So I ended up spending my Saturdays and Sundays in the library with the guys who were studying to become priests, actually. Because the university where I was studying is the University of Fribourg in Switzerland. That's the Catholic University of Switzerland. So you get all the people who study to become priests are there. So that's where I studied law, basically. So I finished my studies, and then when I was 20, I had a girlfriend in Germany. I met this girl on vacation, and then I went to Germany many times to visit her. And soon I realized that she has actually... She had a project with me, actually. And at first I didn't really understand what she wanted to do, but I soon realized that she was a Christian. And actually, her project was she wanted to convert me. And she told me, "Look, you should read the Bible." And she gave me a book, and she said, "We should study the Bible together." And of course, I love the girl. So I said, "Hey, I'm going to do that, because I want to be with her, I want to please her. I'm not doing this because of God. I'm doing this because I want to please the girl." And so I started to study a bit that book with her, but I didn't really believe it, so I was not convinced about that. And at some point, very soon actually, she started to take some distance from me, because she realized that I was not into that, and she was a true believer. And she took distance of me, and she even actually wanted to terminate with me. She said, "Look, there's no future for us." And I remember a very, very heated discussion I had with her one day, and I had this Bible here with me for that discussion, because that was my study Bible back then that my teacher had given to me. And I remember saying to her one day, I don't need this. If you're going to be with me, it's because you love me. You don't need to love me because of what I believe. You need to love me for what I am. And I took that Bible here, I slammed it on the floor, and I said, I'm not going to touch this anymore. And I left, and that was over with that relationship, and I was very depressed, very angry about what happened. I said, how could that girl just not love me for what I am? She needed me to believe in God for that. So I could not understand that first. So I rejected God one more time, and He was really knocking at my door big time. Then what happened? Well, I said I finished my studies, so I started to build up my own life. I ended up meeting another girl, eventually got married with her. I found a good job. I work as an international lawyer in a multinational company. So I started to build up my career. I had my friends. I had my social network. Everything was doing fine in my life. I got my money. Everything is good. Probably my biggest concern was where I will go on vacation the next summer. That was my only concern in my life. So I thought everything was fine. Until in 2012, a big explosion happened in my life. Everything that I had built up just broke apart. In the same year, my now ex-wife left me for a younger guy. And in the same year, my mom passed away from cancer. These were the two people who were the most important in my life back then, and they just disappeared from my life in the space of a few months. I was completely devastated. I didn't know where to go in my life. I was totally lost. I still had some relatives, of course, but no one really that I could talk about what is the purpose of my life. So I felt like I'm in a desert. And what do I need to do now? And I started to seek. And I started to look for answers. And I was really asking if there is God, because I had these contacts with the pilgrimage and this girl that I had met. I knew there was something out there powerful that had touched me in the past. And I was really asking, is there something out there? Why am I on this earth? Why am I alive? What am I doing here? And what I did as my next step is I called a pastor near where I was living in Switzerland in a local church. And I called him and I said, look, my name is Sebastian, and I want to find out about God, and I want to know if this is true, and let's meet up because I want to talk to you. And he was very clear in what he told me. He said, look, that's what we believe. He explained to me the story of Jesus. We went through Romans in the Bible together. We read it together. And he said, look, first you need to start to live a righteous life. Right now you're living a sinful life. You need to change a few things. And just come on Sunday, just come to a church service and see if you like it. And that's what I did. And I went there. And first of all, I was very surprised, people praying. I found it a bit crazy. But something made me stay. There was something there that people were talking to me. I said, oh, I'm just divorcing. Or my mom passed away from cancer. And people told me, oh, really? I also faced a divorce some years ago. Oh, and I also faced cancer some years ago. And that's how God intervened in the situation and helped me to go through the situation, fix the situation, and show me the next step. And that was fascinating for me because it showed me people have experienced the same thing like I'm experiencing, and they might have solutions, and we started to pray for that. And God eventually showed the way. And I started to change my life. I started my life from scratch. I got baptized in 2013, and interestingly for my baptism, I was in the US before my baptism to prepare for the baptism, because I was on a business trip in New York State, and I went upstate New York to spend 1 week in a monastery. You see here, there's the monastery again. And I spent there 1 week to prepare for my baptism. And back then I didn't know that I would one day work in New York and shoot this video today for the crew ministry. I didn't know that. And today this is happening. So you see, God is working in mysterious ways. You don't know. He will take you through a lot of detours to accomplish the plan He has for your life. So what I want to tell you is that if you have a meeting with God, this meeting is actually going to happen. Whether you want it or not, He's gonna be after you. He's gonna knock at your door as many times as he needs to do, and until you answer and until you open that door, he's gonna seek you. But you also need to seek him. So that's what Matthew 7:7 tells us. You have to seek, and then you will actually find. So this is how I'm here today doing this video. And after I became a Christian, I started to work in different ministries. I'm in the worship band in my church. I was there in Switzerland, in New York, New Jersey now as well. I play music in church. I'm part of the Gideon's ministry. We distribute Bibles in different places. I've done mission abroad, and today I'm doing this video. So I just want to say to all of you, just listen to God and open your heart to him. He's looking for you. He's seeking you. Please also seek him, because he has a great plan for your life, and he's going to do it.